We're making quick calculations with Excel today on Call for Help.
These people can help me with my computer. A technician will be with you in 4 hours.
4 hours?
You can upgrade for just $5,000.
What?
The Universal Serial Config Board should be set to ID 6.
I need that in plain English. Help!
Leo Laporte at Call for Help. May I help you?
Throw it right out. Oh, man, I missed the dog. Oh, hi, welcome to Call for Help. How are you? Good to see you. Leo Laporte here. Hey, gang. Hey, gang. Hi, how are you? Say hello to Andy Walker, ladies and gentlemen. Star of stage and screen. And many people don't realize he had an early career singing with Marie Osmond. Oh. He's a little bit rock and roll.
I'm a little bit rock and roll.
The resemblance is striking.
Yes.
It is striking.
I am the child that disappeared, the twin that got sent to Canada.
Ay, caramba.
And, of course, the lovely Monica Latanwa, who looks like nobody more than Monica Latanwa. Hey.
And I ain't a little bit country.
Are you a little bit rock and roll? I like your Krusty Krab
so.
SpongeBob shirt.
Thank you.
Too.
Is that an 80s? Another one of those 80s? No, I guess not. SpongeBob's
No.
very-
It's definitely
very this century.
2000-ish.
Yeah. Are you a SpongeBob fan?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's cute.
Hey, kids, what time is it? Go.
It's time for Call for Help.
Hey, we're going to have a good show today. We're going to talk about technology. Of course, that's what we do always. By the way, I want to maybe emphasize this because I don't say it maybe enough. It doesn't have to be computers. We do a lot of computer talk. But technology nowadays is everything from cell phones to PDAs to MP3 players. I mean, it could be DVD cameras, camcorders, DVDs, digital cameras. It could be home theater, any of that. We'd love those questions. Just go to callforhelptv.com and press the link there that says Ask Us a Question. And if it has a chip in it, if it's digital, if it hooks up to a computer, we will talk about it. And I want to emphasize this. There are no dumb questions. If you have the question, I want you to ask it. Chances are, if you think it's a dumb question, there's a lot of other people who have the same question but are too afraid to ask it. They don't want to look silly.
Excuse me, Leo.
Yes, Vac?
We have a lot of dumb questions here in Control Room.
Yes, I know that, Vac. I wasn't talking about you guys. You can call some other show, okay? Hey, today, SP2 EIEIO is the topic. Andy is going to talk more about the new features of Service Pack 2, which is a big upgrade to Windows, came out in August. And we're talking about that in wireless networking.
Wi-Fi, wireless networking.
Has it changed it?
It's so much easier to use.
Oh, good.
Now.
Good.
I love it.
Big improvement. All right, one more reason to download SP2.
Yeah.
I think. Heather McBurney is here, our expert on Microsoft Office. Yes, she's great. She's going to talk a little bit about Excel, how to add up all your money. And Monica... Obviously, it's easy to add.
How do you
up
add zero?
What do you got? You have a free calendar?
Yes, how to help organize your life.
See, we do it all here. We do it all here on the show. But the most important thing is that, yes, my friends, the phone calls. Did we have somebody on the line?
Yes, we do. We have someone on Netcam.
On Netcam?
Yeah, we have Ron from Oshawa.
Ron from Oshawa, Ontario. Hello, Ron. How are you?
Hello there, Leo. It's good to be on the show and have you back on your Call for Help and in Canada.
Well, thank you, Ron. It's my pleasure. Look at this. You've got the paneled den that I've always wanted. What a cozy place you've got there.
Yeah, I got the pool table and I got a movie,
Can we come over?
Yeah. Everybody, let's go to Oshawa and say hi to Ron. Wow, that's great.
Yeah.
I'm very jealous. And your computer's down there, too, I take it.
Oh, yeah. I've got all my toys down here.
Yeah, your wife made you go down there, didn't she?
Oh, sometimes.
Down in the basement, Ron.
Now that I'm retired, I guess it keeps me out of her hair.
Oh, sure. This is your playroom now, man. This is it.
Yeah.
This is the office. Yeah, pull on your slippers and head downstairs.
Yeah, well, I got the walk out here to the backyard there in the ravine lot. So.
Oh, I'm so jealous. How nice.
Birds chirping, and it's really sunny and nice today.
Oh.
Man, is he just rubbing it in, isn't he?
Yeah, I should be out golfing and not on Call for Help.
Well, I'm glad you're not. I'm glad you're on the show. What can we do for you today?
Well, you're saying there should be no dumb questions, but maybe this one is. You go to Start and you go Program and you get all these darn... with watching Call for Help and screensavers and all that and all your free...
You downloaded them all, huh?
Not quite all of them, but quite a few, and now I got a whole mess of lists there. It'd be nice to, condense it down and make it a little less
you bet.
cumbersome, There must be way
There is. There is. And that's not a dumb question. That's a great question. It's the kind of thing I love to get because it's the kind of thing people put up with. And they go, boy, you know, it's annoying. My menu is huge. I can't find anything. Someday I'll fix it if I could ever figure out how. So it's great to take the initiative and say, no, you know, it's my computer. I want to have it work the way I want. So, and it turns out it is fairly easy to do, Ron.
There you go.
Well,
happy with easy.
I am happy with easy too. The start menu is really just a folder. So if you can organize a folder by making subfolders and dragging files into it and things like that, you can easily organize your start menu. Everything in the start menu should be a shortcut, not the actual program, but a shortcut. And that's good because it means you can delete them, move them with impunity. You don't have to worry about what you're doing to them. Way to start is to right-click on the Start button. And you're going to get the usual pop-up menu with two choices, Open and Explore, right at the top. Those are the ones you want. And depending on whether you're the kind of person who likes to use the folder metaphor in the Windows Explorer or the kind of the more tree-oriented metaphor in Explorer, you choose one or the other. I'm going to choose the tree metaphor because I want to show you some things that would be a little bit easier to see in the tree structure. So I'm going to select Explore from that pop-up menu. And I'm going to get here, and you can see I'm exploring. If you look at the menu bar, I'm exploring the Start menu right up the top there. You can see that says that's the folder I'm in. Now, I have to say there's more than one Start menu. I'm in my Start menu, but there's at least 3 Start menus that contribute to your menu. There is your Start menu, of course. There's the All Users Start menu, and if you're an administrator, you also will have access to the contents of the Administrator's Start menu. So look a little bit at this organization. This Start menu here is in a folder called Call for Help 2. That's how I'm logged in right now. Let me compact that down. And we'll see above Call for Help 2 is All Users. That also has a Start menu folder. And everything in that I will also see in my Start menu. And then there's also an Administrator user. And that one, if I'm the administrator, I will see as well. What I'm going to recommend is, in most cases, what you'd like to do is move everything in the Start menus for the other guys into All Users. That way, everything you do will be visible to all of them. And so it's easiest to just kind of organize not just your menu, but all users. And the reason is I can organize my menu, but I'll still have stuff that's out of whack in the All Users. So I want to go back up here to All Users. And what I do is I create, you'll see we actually have a very nicely organized, Mikey did a nice job of organizing this Start menu. And what I usually do is I keep the accessories menu that comes with Windows, that has accessibility, communications, entertainment system tools, and all sorts of little programs in there. I created one called Games for all my games. I created one called Graphics for my graphics programs. And that could be things like your photo sharing programs like the Photo Now or Adobe Photoshop, or if you use regular Photoshop or Photoshop Elements. I have an Internet folder that contains all my email programs and my browsers. I also have a multimedia folder. That would be any DVD players or MP3 players, music players. I also put burning programs in there. Now, this is just how I do it. You don't have to do it like I do it. I'm sure everybody has their own way. I have an Office folder. On my home system, I have an Office and a Home folder. Office will include Microsoft Office, but it also could include things like checkbook programs like Quicken. PDA, sometimes we have Startup menu. That's always going to be there. System folder I create for my system tools like Spybot and the antivirus tools. And then if you do web design, you can have a web design as well. Notice we have a few here that every time you install a program, it just installs it right at the top level. For instance, we installed Skype, which is an internet telephony program. Well, I can actually do this in the Start menu. I'm going to take this Skype icon, and I'm going to drag it. I think that belongs in Internet because it's internet telephony. So I'm going to drag it over to the Internet folder and release it. And that actually moved it there. In fact, if I go back to Skype, you'll see it's empty. I don't want an empty folder there, so I'm just going to delete that Skype folder. And it says, you sure? And I say, yes, absolutely. Same thing here. I'm going to show a program later in the show called Eraser. That's a system tool. I'm going to move the whole Eraser folder since there's quite a few programs. And I'll put that in the System folder. I'm going to move it right over here. And there it is. Bada bing, bada boom. And we've cleaned it up just like that. So you can do it in the menu. You can do it in the Explorer. You can do it in the if you prefer the icon point of view, you can also do it that way. Whatever makes it easiest for you. But these are all shortcuts. They can be dragged and dropped and put anywhere you want. For instance, I'm going to take this Norton System Works and move it right into my System folder right here like this, because that's where it belongs, not in the root directory. So does that make sense to you, Ron? It's just a folder, and you can organize it.
Yeah.
Sometimes the easiest way is to do it right from the Start menu itself. You just click on something and drag it around. Finally, if you've really messed up a folder by dragging a lot of things in there, you can like for instance, my internet folder now has got all sorts of stuff in there. Right-click on the folder and select Sort by Name, and it's going to put everything in alphabetical order with all the folders up top. Makes it a little bit easier to find the stuff I'm looking for. Does that all make sense?
Yeah, it sounds good.
Yeah.
I just have to wait for a rainy day, and I can, you know.
No golf, time to sort the menus.
Moving them around and get myself sorted.
Yeah, well, I find once I've got the basic structure, it's pretty easy to keep it up to date and keep things organized. And actually, I have a very short menu, only 4 or 5 items, but I can find anything very quickly in it.
You know, that's what I want to do.
Yeah.
Make it short and
short
find
but
things
sweet.
quicker. And
right. Another thing I recommend, for instance, when you install Office, it'll install a whole bunch of icons right at the root directory of the Start menu. Unless you really like those things, you can just right-click them and remove them. For instance, I don't want an advertisement for the Windows program catalog in my Start menu. I'm just not going to go there. I right-click it, I select Delete, and it says yes, and no longer do I have it occupying space in my very valuable Programs menu. I don't really need it there. I might delete that one too, set program access and defaults. Okay, Ron?
Okay.
Okay, now go play some golf.
There you go.
Hey, it's time at least for 9 holes. Take care, guy. Nice to talk to you.
Okay, bye-bye now, Aaron.
Bye-bye. All right, we'll see you again in Oshawa. Boy, what a nice... I always wanted a knotty pine panel den, pool table, big screen TV.
Child of the 70s.
Yeah, maybe that's it. Yeah.
That's what we should get in here.
Watch it too.
Table.
Maybe that's what we should have made this be, a knotty pine fishing lodge. Wi-Fi, you know, it's wireless internet networking. We all use it, or a lot of us are starting to use it, but hey, how safe is it? Well, thanks to the new Windows Service Pack 2 for Windows XP, it's a lot safer. We'll talk about it in just a bit. One call for help continues. Stay right here. Now that I've broken his router. Welcome back to Call for Help. Leo Laporte here. Wireless networking really is getting easier all the time as more and more people use it. Windows XP does a great job, but it's even better now with Service Pack 2. Also a little more secure. Brand new interface. Andy Walker's here to show us all. I guess you've been using Service Pack 2 for a while now.
I have, yeah, and I love it.
Came out in August. People have been, I hope, updating their Windows. If you want Windows Update, it'll pop up. Yeah, it's a big download, but boy, it makes a lot of important security changes. And some surprising user interface changes.
Yes, and that's what in fact, that is really the key issue on this feature I'm going to show you on Wi-Fi, the upgrade. It makes Wi-Fi so much easier on Windows XP.
Oh, that's great.
It's more intuitive, things like that.
Right. Let's see it.
I'm going to close this first.
So how do we get into it in the first place?
If you are a Wi-Fi user and you have it installed, and you have been using it before on Service Pack 1 on XP, when you upgrade, you're just going to see a slightly different change way down here.
That's that little system tray icon in the lower right.
Right down here. Yeah. You can see it. It's a new little piece of art for us. But anyway, so we're going to double-click on it.
That looks the same.
That looks kind of the same. And you click View Wireless.
Oh, now this is new.
And so this is very new.
This is a list of all the wireless connections we can see?
Yeah, as you can see in the studio, we have 3 different wireless networks going.
We're crazy.
For a variety of different reasons. Actually, there's our lighting for wireless.
Isn't that neat? They use a compact iPack to move around the lighting via wireless.
Via wireless, yeah. That's cool. So we've been told to stay off that.
I do.
But the other 2, one we have a LAN party, one called Doom 3, and we have the second one we have. And notice there's 2 little stars next to these. These are the 2 sort of authorized wireless networks that I've said to my machine, let's try connecting to those first. So if I go over and I can actually change the order of those, and Vac says don't touch
the lighting, whatever you do.
I'm going to click on. There's a whole bunch of new functions, but let's start with changing the order of preferred networks. This again is sort of similar. It kind of looks, but it just works a little bit better this time. And so I've ranked all of the different networks that I want to connect to or try to connect to first.
So it starts at the top of the list. If it can't get a connection, it goes to the next one and the next one.
And it finds the most robust one.
Okay.
Right.
So it's not merely looking for the only one it can connect to.
No.
It looks for the best connection.
For the best connection, too. And so if the star's next to it, it'll try that.
That one first.
Okay. Yeah, exactly. Let's go back to it, though, again, because I want to show you one of the things about wireless networking is kind of a bit of a mystery. Networking is a bit of a mystery.
Yeah,
we showed before, ipconfig, release, renew, some secret
real
network,
arcane
things.
Yeah.
Well, now you can actually refresh your network, and it actually tells you what it's doing, all the different things it's doing in the background.
So is that a release and renew, in effect?
Essentially, it's a new GUI-based release and renew. Right. So if I say, instead of the Doom 3, I'm going to connect to our Linksys G network, I'm going to connect. Right. If you watch, it's actually going to show us here the things that it's doing to try to connect to that network.
And you'll see the network to be ready. Connected.
It'll say connected. Actually, it did it very quickly. Sometimes when it takes a little while, it'll say, finding a new IP address and dropping the adapter connection and that sort of thing.
Very cool.
So that's kind of handy, especially if you have a wireless connection that has a good signal, but for some reason doesn't have a network connection to the internet or whatever. Finally, let's have a quick look at the advanced settings. Of course, there's a wireless, there's a Windows firewall built into SP2. There was before. It's sort of enhanced now. But let's say that you're roaming with your laptop and you're not at home and you want to go out to an airport or to Starbucks or someplace like that.
I often do. Yeah, I get online all over the place. Yeah.
But you don't necessarily trust that network. What you can do is you can click on your Advanced tab, and so you can get an express train into Windows Firewall. I click on Settings there. There's this cool little button called Don't Allow Exceptions. If I'm at home, I may have created a bunch of exceptions for the firewall to let me use my webcam, let me do all kinds of things to get around the firewall problems.
We talked about that before. We talked about firewalls. You punched a hole in the firewall.
Punched a hole.
Yeah, okay. But that is a security issue.
That is a security issue. So what I'm going to say, you know what? Because I'm in an alien environment here, and I don't really know what people are doing around here, I'm going to say I don't allow my exceptions.
So that's more protected when that's clicked.
It's more protected. Basically, shuts down all the holes in your wireless network and just lets you get data.
It's a very easy way when you go, get online at McDonald's. Very easy way to click that.
That's right.
And say, please be a little more careful.
So we don't often say this, but way to go, Microsoft, on this one.
Yeah, that's good.
Microsoft.
No, that's a big improvement. I think SP2.
Look at the peanut gallery over here.
I think SP2 is a much-needed upgrade to Windows, and it's really the way it should have been all along, but now that they have it, everybody should get it. For more information on things in Service Pack 2 that you may or may not want to turn on, check out Andy's show notes at callforhelptv.com. Thanks, Andy. Time for our quiz. Get to the website, give us the answer to this quiz question, show us how bright you are. What was the name of the first modern word processor on a personal computer? Was it Lotus Notes, WordStar, WordPerfect, or the first word processor ever? I might have to give a little history lesson to Mikey on this one. There's ones that, but what's the oldest one on this list? Let's put it that way. Go to the website. There's some that predate this even.
Is that right?
Yeah, we'll give you the answer in just a little bit. I'll tell you, don't get me started on computer history, and obviously now I'm looking at what the first word processor and so forth. Mikey and I are having a little conversation on that quiz, but he has a good point. He says it's the first modern word processor.
Right, by his standards. I mean, he's like 12 years old.
How old are you, Mikey?
22.
22.
There you go.
So the word processor I was thinking of is actually older than Mikey. That's probably the problem right there.
He just wasn't sentient at that point.
A little word we'll talk about it a little bit later on, but I think it's time now to take another call on the show. Monica, who is also about 22. I'm just surrounded by kids.
I'm old.
I'm not, but thank you.
Well, who's on the line here?
Yeah, Vac's 22 too.
Yeah, 22 in dog years.
Oh, really? Well, let's find out. Is Charlie from Largo, Florida, 22?
I doubt it. Hey, Charlie, how are you?
Hello. No, I'm a little bit older than that.
A little bit older. Do you remember what was the first word processor you used, Charlie? Do you remember?
Probably WordPerfect.
WordPerfect, yeah. That was a classic. That was based on the old Wang word processor that was used in many offices before computers. It was a computer, but all it did was word processing, and they based all the keystrokes on Wang, which is why it was so successful in offices.
Right.
Well, what can I do for you today, Charlie?
Yes, Leo. I have a question. I recently got upgraded a computer, and I got a flash drive.
Ah.
And working, USB 2 port. Mm-hmm. And I couldn't really find no information on how do you delete the files off of it.
Oh, very interesting. Here, we got one right here. These are all the rage right now. Thank you, Andy. This is a flash drive. Basically, all it does is it has a USB port on it, and you plug it into the computer, the USB port, and inside is memory, the same kind of memory that you have in your camera. And they very typically have 128 megabytes, 256. You can now get them with a gigabyte or even 2 gigabytes.
Wow.
And I mean, this has really replaced the floppy, hasn't it?
It really has, yeah.
As a way of putting data on. Even the zip drive never came close to that. So this is really, these are really cool, and every geek has one.
It's about the size of a stick of gum. It's really nice.
I love them.
Storage.
Get another shot of Mikey. See what he's got around his neck. Do you have one around your neck? No? No, he's just got a regular key. What kind of geek are you, Mikey? Oh, you keep yours in your pocket? Oh, he's got a hook to his belt.
Oh, and this is the other set of keys.
Here you go.
He's got a hook to his belt. And look at, okay, there he's got his. And Andy's got his.
I use an SD card and a card reader together. That's
so
my
Monica's got a little one. I have a 512 megabyte I carry. I actually usually have around my neck. And what I put on mine is all the tools, spyware and antivirus tools, because people are always saying, Leo, help! And I'll come over and I'll plug my drive in. So the truth is, Charlie, this is a drive just like any other drive, except, excuse me, I'm going to get under the table here and plug it into the USB port on my computer here. I bet that's a good shot, too, of me on camera one. Yeah. Nice. They said, you're still on camera. Oh, good.
Hi, camera.
Watch your head.
How are you?
Good to see you. Oh! So, I just plugged that in now. And the nice thing about these nowadays is they use a feature of most computers called mass storage class. Basically, it's driverless. Windows XP, Mac OS X, and Linux, you don't even need to install a driver. It'll just show up as a drive. In fact, there it is. Yours WinHEC 2004. You probably put some documents on that one. Mm-hmm. And so there it's showing up as a removable storage device. Now, this is just like a regular drive, Charlie. So to delete a file on it, you delete it like you would on any drive. This is the smart drive right here. You just drag it to the trash or delete it. It is a drive.
And that would never have to be formatted?
It can be formatted, absolutely. And you'd format it just as you would any normal drive by right-clicking on it.
And that won't hurt nothing?
It won't hurt anything. It formats it just like a regular drive. And if you say, well, I want to make sure... By the way, frequently people use these drives for I'm not going to... No, shall I not format this?
Please.
This is something you really want?
Yes.
For my demo. All right. Warning. So, but if you did want to erase it completely, formatting would not do it sufficiently. And the reason this is important is a lot of times people put on these thumb drives very important documents, personal documents, passwords, things that you really want to keep. In fact, Andy's going to show us at some point there's a new kind of drive that's designed specifically for keeping passwords. Mm-hmm. It automatically keeps your passwords safe and sound on that removable drive. So if you want to erase it permanently, then you'll need to use one of those special file shredder programs. I usually recommend Eraser, which is actually I just put it on here, but I moved it around because I was showing.
I've heard you mention that before.
Yeah, originally invented by a guy named Tolvanen. I put it in here, didn't I? Yeah, there it is. It actually, and it's a great program. What it does is it overwrites the data, so it erases it, and then it overwrites it with ones and zeros a few times, and that really keeps it from ever being recovered by anybody. Eraser, Tolvanen got tired of developing Eraser. He said, I'm done, I'm not going to do it anymore. And if you do a search for Tolvanen, and Eraser, you go to his page, he says, go away, I don't need you anymore. Tolvanen.com. I've given it to Garrett Trant, and he's taken it over. And Garrett has done a good job of keeping it up to date. In fact, it's even better than ever before. So a good free program that will work just fine. There are other programs that work in DOS only, but that won't work with a USB key because in most cases you can't see USB drives from DOS. So, Charlie, that's they're great. How big is your flash drive?
256.
Yeah, I find that's a good size. Mm-hmm. Price versus capacity. I find that's a
Mini Cruiser.
Mini Cruiser, is that the one you use?
Yes.
Yeah. And always when you're buying one of these, look for one, most of them do now, that support the mass storage class, so you don't need to install a driver. Only on early versions of 98 and 95 would you need a driver for it.
Mass Service Pack 2 is pretty good.
You like it?
Yes, I do.
Good.
And no problems at all.
It installed fine?
Yes.
Great.
Just, I wouldn't know what normal was.
Yeah, right. That's pretty normal.
So easy.
Good. Well, I'm glad to hear it. Thank you, Charlie.
Well, thank you very much, sir.
Great to talk to you.
We miss you down here.
Oh, well, we're going to get the show in the States. Don't you worry.
Okay, buddy.
Take care in Largo. All righty. Bye-bye. Celsius to Fahrenheit. Centimeters to inches. Miles to kilometers. I tell you, when I cross the border, I'm confused, but there's a free file to help me at hand as Call for Help continues. Stay right here.
Oh, no, come on over.
Oh, do it now?
Sure.
All right, come on over. Andy's going to rush over to that computer. Hey, where are you going, Basil? Where? I go this way. Andy's going to rush right over to that computer and whip the thumb drive out of there. Almost erases. Look at that. Look at that.
You should have seen the look on his face when you left it on format.
What did you do?
He was just like,
it's stuck in the back of the computer. Didn't you see that lovely shot of me reaching over?
here, you should get a shot of him reaching out.
There's Basil. Hey, Basil. How are you? Good to see you. All right. So you're going to help me because I keep complaining that I don't know what 22 degrees is.
Yeah, we're always in the show.
What's this? 22 degrees. That's freezing. No, it's not.
Well, okay, so 22 degrees. Let's go. Okay, so if you could take just a shot of my screen here.
Called the.
So this is called ESB Unit Converter.
ESB Unit Converter. Okay.
Yeah.
That's the wrong screen, but you can take that screen. But I think it looks like somebody's.
Oh, we got to switch it.
Oh, what?
One.
Push a button.
Yeah, right there.
I hope that wasn't
Ta-da!
personal information.
You got it?
Was on there. It was Andy's love letters from WinHeck 2004.
No, they got black. They got black right now. He's not there. Wrong one.
Well, what?
So let's banter while they're.
That's on one. Is it one?
Aw, crap.
Is it supposed to be one? Mikey, come here. Or Simon. Who wants to crawl underneath?
Yeah.
Simon's
There
turn.
you go. We got a shot of Leo and.
Everybody's saying you already said goodbye to Simon. What's he doing there? Well, sometimes he likes to come in on his days off.
And you know what I wanted to mention?
Is it better? Oh, it's something. It fell out. Your dongle fell out. Isn't that great? I feel like an Indy 500 race car driver in the pit. We get all the guys coming out. We just sit here with our helmets on.
There we go.
Here it is.
So
ESB Unit Converter.
Well, you know what? I use this mostly. What I need this for is when I'm cooking.
Oh, sure.
Because they're always saying,
liters
kind
to
of this, liter of that,
and
and then your measurement tools are in a completely different.
So that's it. I never even thought about that. Most Canadian cookbooks in using metric.
Yeah.
And of course, we use imperial measurements in the States.
Yeah. So those beaver dishes.
Yeah.
Beavers.
When you're making your poutine, you got to do it with liters and milliliters.
Yeah. So this is easy. So, okay, let's go to temperature. Because
15
that's
kilograms
your
of cheese.
Biggest complaint.
And one potato.
So you want to know what 22 Celsius
a liter
is?
of maple syrup.
Maple syrup.
Yeah, that's something you'll never hear Homer
Celsius
Simpson
to
say.
Fahrenheit.
Poutine.
There you go. So 22 Celsius is 71 Fahrenheit.
Oh, see, that's perfect. Balmy. What's 100 Fahrenheit? Can you go the other way?
Yeah, you can go the other way. So from Fahrenheit to Celsius.
And this has
Very
every
easy
unit.
program.
Does it have hectares and things like that?
Yeah, it's got everything. It's even got dessert spoons.
Wow. I didn't know there was a metric dessert spoon. 37 degrees. Wow.
Yeah,
That's how hot it was the other day in Texas when we talked about it.
Woo-wee.
Whoa!
So very easy program to use.
It does pressure.
Yep.
From millibars to kilograms of mercury. I don't know what do we do? It's millibars and I don't know.
Yeah, we got velocity.
If you want a free file,
fuel
we got a free file. Go to the website, callforhelptv.com. Free files, lots of them.
Lots of them.
Right there.
There you go. Leo's going to use this from now on, so I don't want to hear.
No more complaints. Andy's good, though. Andy's good because you could just tell him a temperature and he'll go.
He has this in there.
Yes, right there. When we come back, ladies and gentlemen, Heather McBurney is here, our office wizard. She's going to show us some really fun Excel tricks. Come on in, have a seat, Heather. We'll talk to her in just a minute as Call for Help continues. You stay right here. All right, pit crew, come in. We got to change the tires. Quick, come on, rush in and change the tires. All right, okay. Welcome back to Call for Help. She's a master instructor, teaches Microsoft Office certification to all ranges of ability from novice beginners all the way to programmers. A master instructor for several years, a standards application instructor prior to that. She now has her own instructional business, Lexis. Let me get it right. Lexis Business Analysis at lexinc.com. Ladies and gentlemen, Heather McBurney, our word wizard, office wizard. In fact, today we're going to do Excel.
Yes, we are.
I was just saying before the show, before we started, that everybody uses Excel. I think a lot of people use it, but we use it very primitively.
Usually, most people aren't aware of the power of Excel and what it has to offer you, and that it actually can be a very simple program to use.
You said this is one of the programs you teach a lot, and a lot of business people want to become really adept at it.
Yes, definitely. So probably the most common function used is to sum and totals and so forth in spreadsheets. Right. So what I have here is just a very simple spreadsheet setup, and just a quick way to get totals and grand totals is to highlight the range, for example, that you want to sum. Okay. I now have blank row and column.
Oh, so you highlighted not only the numbers but one row and one column extra.
Yes, exactly, exactly. So what I'm going to do is use the sigma, which is the Greek key on our toolbar, and I'm just going to click it for auto sum.
Isn't that
it's now
great?
totaled.
Look at that.
Okay.
Cool. I did them all automatically.
Now,
and it'll keep those up to date if I change any of those numbers.
Definitely, definitely. If I change any of these numbers,
so those aren't hardwired. They've actually put formulas in.
Exactly, and we can see that if we look at the formula bar, it has their sum.
That's great.
Alternatively, if I'm not looking to perform a sum or total, instead of clicking on the sum itself, I can click on the down arrow and get, for example, averages. Okay.
That's very handy.
So
you can do a count, average, minimum, maximum.
Average, and there's over 297 functions within Excel itself, never mind the add-ins.
So you can use any function that you want in this way.
Any function at all.
Oh, that's great. Transform those numbers any way you want.
Exactly, and for keyboard lovers, I can alternatively...
I love that. Okay, you went backwards. That was just undo, right?
Yeah, it was just undo. Okay. But for keyboard lovers, you can press Alt equals, and it performs the same function, just summing, though.
That's the same thing as clicking the sigma.
The exact same thing.
Alt equals. Now, and I liked one thing I saw with the undo is it didn't undo it all at once. It undid
one step at a time.
Yeah, which is nice. So if you wanted to keep the columns but lose the row, you could do that by just undoing one level.
If I had done that.
Oh, that's great. Okay.
Now, what we can add to this is we now have our totals for each individual spreadsheet, but if it is a congruent area, what I can do is highlight this whole section right down to where I would like a grand total. And again, by clicking directly on the sigma, I get a grand total.
Now, it's smart enough to leave out the subtotals?
It is intelligent enough. If I look at my formula right now, it says sum, F27, and, the comma's representing an and, to F14.
So it leaves
my two
out
totals, as opposed to these sum functions, which has a colon, say from 1 point to a second point.
So what it's doing is it's saying, I see these are subtotals, I'm just going to add the subtotals.
Exactly.
That's really cool. I didn't know that.
Now, if, for example, we want to now chart this information, very quickly what I can do is highlight the area. Now, most of us are used to highlighting a given range. Another quick little trick, though, on the keyboard is you can hold down your control key and press the star.
Control star.
And it highlights an entire area.
If you're in that area, it will go to the blank cells around it.
Exactly. So I can just click and again control star.
I love that.
Highlights it.
Wow.
Okay.
You know, it's funny. I mean, we probably have all done this, but we didn't know that you could do it so easily.
Well, that's handy if you have a large spreadsheet, because how many of us have scrolled down and it just goes crazy on you? Okay, so what I can do is just control star and it highlights that exact area.
Okay, so we're going to control star.
Control star. In this case, I'm going to highlight because I do not want to include my totals.
Okay.
And I'm going to press the F11 key.
F11.
Actually, if it's going to work, F11. And there we go. It creates a quick chart for me, quick and instant chart.
And you can change that if you want to have it be a line chart. It's easy enough.
Oh, for sure, right on the charting toolbar.
So the defaults aren't what you automatically have.
Exactly, it sticks to the default. And you can change your defaults, of course, but
that's great.
For right here, just as a quick, simple chart.
Excel magic, ladies and gentlemen. Heather McBurney, let's hear it for her. You go to lexbiz.com if you want to hire Heather for your company. Yes, the golf clap. And don't forget, if you want to get all of Heather's tips, we've got them on the website, callforhelptv.com. Thanks, Heather.
Thank you.
That's great. More phone calls to come. Stick around. Call for Help continues right after this. Welcome back to Call for Help. Leo Laporte here. It's so fun to watch somebody who's adept at a program, because a lot of programs have keystrokes that people just don't know. I mean, you watch a Photoshop wizard or you watch, an Excel wizard, and they do stuff, and it's and you go, wow, how did you do that? Well, it's simple. It's Control asterisk, and then I press this button, and boom. So seriously, I mean, if you're in a cell and you want to make a chart of the whole area around the cell, Control asterisk F11, you're done. mean, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, no,
that's
it
fun.
is.
I hear the bad phone. It must be time for another caller on Call for Help. Monica, who's on the line?
We got Debbie from Mayport, Pennsylvania.
Hello, Debbie. How are you? Hi.
Oh.
What can I do for you today, Debbie?
Well, I have Norton Internet Security.
Oh! Oh!
And when you install it, it tells you to uninstall or disable the firewall for XP.
Uh-huh.
But should you enable it after you do the install?
No, I would usually, in general, I think one firewall is enough. And the truth is, Norton Internet Security is such overkill in terms of protection that I think it probably is good advice to leave that firewall up. Frankly, I'd get rid of Norton Internet Security. I see more problems with that. In fact, the first thing when you said I have Norton Internet Security, the first thing I thought is, oh boy, she can't use the net. Because have you had problems at all doing things on the net?
No, I actually had kind of an off-brand before this, and I had an awful time with it.
Yeah.
Most of the time I'd look down and it wasn't even enabled.
Well, I'm glad you got something that works. It's good to have something that works. Debbie, do you have more than one computer on the net at the same time?
No.
No, just the one computer.
Just one.
And are you dial-up or broadband?
Dial-up.
Dial-up. Well, you're probably, fine with Norton Internet Security. If it's working for you, stay with it. Yeah, disable the Windows firewall. That's overlap. You don't need both of them. There's no reason to have both. And often running two firewalls at once is problematic because neither one knows what the other one is doing.
Well, I had went to the Microsoft, where you can check your system.
Yep.
See if you have any vulnerabilities.
Right.
And it had said that I had an open port, so I thought maybe that's what the problem was.
That's right. And I'm glad you did that. Which port did it say was open?
I don't even know. I didn't write it down.
I'm going to show you another site that does the same thing. In fact, this is the site I recommend everybody go to. It's called Shields Up, from our good friend Steve Gibson, who's, as soon as he gets a passport, is going to be on the show, but he can't get up here because he doesn't have a passport. If you go to Shields Up, you can test the effectiveness of your firewall. And that's exactly, it's at grc.com. It's exactly what you were doing there. It tells you what ports are open. Ports are the way that internet programs get into your computer. It's testing them right now. And I think it's very important to do this periodically. You don't want to be able to see any open ports. Frankly, you want them all to be what we call stealthed, which means not just closed, not merely closed, but invisible. Because even the fact that they're closed is an announcement to a hacker that they exist, that you exist.
Okay.
What you want, you want the bad guy to, I'm going to go over here for a second. You want the bad guy who's trying to rattle your doorknob. You don't want him to go knock, 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 and you say, there's nobody here, because that's announcing there's somebody there. What you want is, oh, there's nothing there. There's no response at all. That's called stealth mode. You don't want it. I see a barrier. I'm sorry. Shh. Okay. We have our own little firewall. Oh boy, the internet, the IT people here don't like us to go back there because the ports are all back there. So I would suggest you try grc.com and see what port. And the nice thing is that Steve will explain what port it is and whether it's a problem. It's not unusual to have open ports. You have to have, for instance, port 80 open, or you can't surf the internet. In fact, that's one of the reasons that Norton Internet Security can be a problem. It can sometimes be overzealous in blocking internet activity. Andy?
Just one quick tip.
Yes.
Make sure you run a live update to update Norton Internet Security.
Absolutely.
Because they have actually done some fixes to make it work better with Service Pack 2, which has just been released in August.
Yes, I do that all the time.
Excellent. Yeah, it's no good to have an antivirus or a security program if you don't update it. Absolutely. Well, good. So, Debbie, leave the Windows firewall off. Keep using Norton Internet Security. If you're not having problems, fine. If somebody else is watching and is saying, should I get that? We don't recommend it in general. And the reason I asked if you were on high-speed internet is a router is often the best form of security. It acts as a firewall as well without in any way interfering with your system. Okay. Hey, thank you for the call.
Thank you.
It's great to talk to you. Take care. Our quiz question of the day today, one last chance. We're going to have some fun debating this one. Maybe Mikey and I will, wrestle over this one. He said, what's the name of the first modern-day word processor? That's probably a good way to put it. Modern day, or maybe I'll tell you, what's the oldest of these? Lotus Notes, WordStar, WordPerfect, or first word processor ever? We called that FWPE. It was a great program. I remember that very well. It involved rocks and slate. Go to the website, give us your answer. We'll talk about it when Call for Help continues. we're going to go on and on over this one. We're going to get the letters, the emails. Mikey said, which is the name of the first modern-day word processor? He was looking for WordStar. It certainly is the oldest of the bunch, and I'd agree with that. And WordStar was old, but there were older. Electric Pencil and the TRS-80. And Apple II had a word processor. I'm trying to remember if it was called Apple Write or Easy Writer, maybe something like that. Yeah. So there certainly were ones that predated WordStar, but we'll give you a break on that. The first modern day. The first one that was around when Mikey was around. No, I'm just teasing him. No, I love the TV.
Oh, no.
I'm supposed to look at
Where's the whip?
I'm the old guy who's going, hey, now, you youngsters, you don't remember. In the old days, we would take a rock and we would scrape it on the ground. That was the first word.
Abe!
Hey, look at soup. Where are my pants? Oh, sorry. Where's Monica's free file? That's what we're going to do right now. Our free.
The Monster Pick.
This is Monster Pick.
Monster Pick. Although this is free too, so
it's free and a pick.
It's all free.
What you said? Calendaring?
Yeah. So let's say, most people, they have their phone or their pocket PC or their Palm, and they have their schedules on there. But what if you don't have it and you travel a lot? How do you keep track of your calendar?
A web is a great way to do it.
Exactly. Yeah. So there's this site called myfreecalendar.com.
Wow.
So you'll have to sign up, of course, and it's a free account.
Do you have to enter in the data by hand, or will it take it out of your PDA if you have a PDA? Or?
No.
You got to do it all by hand.
Yeah.
Okay, so it really is for somebody who doesn't have it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
So again, it's very easy to navigate. It'll show you daily, weekly, monthly, or your upcoming events.
Cool.
And you can, of course, add your event like so using this form.
Can you share it with other people?
Yeah, you can. There's shared calendars.
That's great.
So
this would be great for a league, a football league, or
exactly.
Kids sports or that kind of thing. School. Yeah.
There we go. And you can even get this to remind you by email.
Oh, neat.
Yeah, the daily schedule or weekly schedule. So it's a simple site you can go to.
My free calendar.
You can access it wherever there's internet, I guess.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Monica.
That's it.
Mon's Pick. I use Yahoo Calendar. Have you ever tried that? I know you use Yahoo. Don't you use Yahoo Briefcase? Yahoo Calendar is pretty good because you can synchronize it with your PDA. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Hey, do we have a caller on that?
Yeah, we do. We have David from Lexington, New York.
David from Lexington, New York. Let's say hi to David right now. I'm going to...
You're so sexy.
Oh, thank you. I am too sexy for Basil. Hey, how are you, David? Welcome to the show.
Leo, thanks for taking my call.
My pleasure.
I'm actually from Lexington, Kentucky, but
Kentucky.
That's okay.
What do we say? New York?
Yeah.
We'll change that into a K right now.
Listen, I've got an iMovie question for you.
Okay, I'm going to change over to my Mac then. Go ahead.
When you place a QuickTime movie made with iMovie onto the home page of your .Mac account, how do you configure the movie so that it does not play the moment that you open the home page after you've loaded it on?
Very good question. Now, .Mac uses, I'm going to go to mine because I have a movie on here that I made. And notice, as soon as I go to my .Mac page, the movie starts playing. There's audio on this, too, if you want to listen to it. So it starts playing immediately. I made a little slideshow using iMovie. And that is the default. The only way to change this, you'll actually have to get into the HTML. There are various ways to do that. This is my favorite picture of Vac. So we'll step back a little bit and we'll start by running iMovie. And I'll show you... for those who've never done this before, it really is great. iMovie is just great for this kind of thing. So I created a little slideshow using the Ken Burns effect, and I put a little bit of music behind it and all sorts of things like that. And then once I decided that I wanted to give it to somebody to see online, I can share it, which is just wonderful, by going to the share command from File. And there's a variety of ways you can share it. In this case, I'm going to go to homepage. Now, this is the key here, David. It makes it a QuickTime movie, and you probably figured that out. Of course, what else would Apple do but make it a QuickTime movie? Now, I'm going to show you really quickly, while it's doing that, let's... actually, maybe I'll cancel out of that. We don't really need it to compress the movie. I'm going to show you, if I can... Let me cancel. Yeah, thank you. The HTML that's generated by this page, I actually happen to have it here. And I'm going to open it up in BB Edit so we can actually look at it. And I'll show you what you need to change. Do you have any way of getting to the HTML? I'll show you. There's a quick trick you can use if you don't know off the top of your head.
I'll take the quick trick.
All right. Because it's on an iDisk, you can look at it as a part of your iDisk. It's actually on your iDisk as a file, so you can modify it. What we're going to do is we're going to scroll down here to this particular part of the HTML, the object tag. Within the object tag is all the information for this QuickTime movie. And there's one particular field that we want to change. It's right here. The parameter is autoplay, and by default, it's true. If you change it to false, it won't start. Your users will have to press the start button. If you do that, though, make sure that this one, parameter name controller, is true. If there's no controller on it, they won't be able to play it. And you'll notice that to make it compatible with older browsers, inside the object tag, there's an embed tag. This is for Netscape and older browsers. And so you'll have to change the autoplay to false in both places. And then what you'll need to do is get this onto your iDisk. The easiest way is actually to mount your iDisk. And once you mount the iDisk, you look in Sites, and you'll see that actually within the Sites are the HTML. And you can actually just go in there with any text editor. Text edit will work, and modify that file. And then make sure that you save it back to your iDisk, and that's all there is to it.
Okay, thanks
David?
a lot. That's great.
Yeah, you actually have a lot more control than you think. What's nice is iMovie will write the HTML for you, so you don't have to know anything about web design, but you can modify it after the fact to make it behave more like you want.
Even better.
Yeah, thanks for the call, David. I appreciate
it.
Yeah, I have to say, this is one thing that Apple has done so well. Both iTunes, iPhoto, and iMovie integrate very well together, and iPhoto and iMovie allow you to share your stuff on the web with just one click of the button, and that's just really neat. Hey, final words and a way to get a hold of us and be on the show coming up as Call for Help continues right after this. Welcome back to Call for Help. If you want to join us on the show, gosh knows we would love to hear from you. And you don't have to be in Canada. You don't have to be in the States. You can be anywhere in the world. I know there are people all over the world who watch the show. And all you have to do is go to the website, callforhelptv.com. And there's a button right there that says Ask a Question. Fill out that form, send it along. We can't promise to answer every question. We get far more than we can answer on the air, obviously. But we answered all the ones we can. And there's a lot of great callers. And, of course, if you have a webcam, if we can see your face, then we are much more likely to put you on, because we love to see those people. It's funny. I don't know. I love seeing like the guys' rumpus room.
It's sort of like peering into their secret lives.
It's a little voyeuristic.
Yeah.
And it's we used to get sometimes kids who would be in their bedroom and the bed would be unmade. And I'd say, make your bed. And the next time they call, the bed would be made. So it's also a very useful, parents, to get your kids to do some chores around the house. So this is one more way to do a calendar. We didn't get around to. This is Calendar Maker.
Yep, Calendar Maker is a free program that you can download. Help you organize your schedule.
Can you print out the calendars?
Print it out.
Oh, see, that's nice. That's really great for families and parents, especially back to school time.
Yeah, it's too late.
It's too late. We can't show that. Oh, you got to print it on green paper. But that's really cool. That's really cool.
Yeah.
What's that you got there, Andrew?
I have a wireless.
You were sitting on that?
I was sitting on this. This is a wireless print server, and you can plug a printer into this, or a scanner, or a hard drive, and actually have it on your wireless network.
And no wires.
No wires except power
to connect it. Hey, I want more. Let's talk more about that sometime on the show. I think that's really neat. We're almost out of time. Only enough time to say, if you've got a problem with your personal computer, don't whine, don't moan, don't yell. Just call for help. Let's get the pit crew in here. We need to change the wheels on this sofa. They're flat. I can't go anywhere. I can't go anywhere. Quick, get in here. All right, take me out of here. Well, lift me up. Go ahead.